welcome back to the video tutorials. Today I'll be going over all the customer reports that AltheaSuite provides you with. There are 5 different types of customer statements and 3 different delinquent reports. There are also 2 extra reports, one regarding advanced amount and another regarding store credit. Now, in order to find these reports, you want to come down to Business Intelligence and click on Reports. When you click Reports, you'll see this long list of different types of reports you have on the left here, and then you want to click on Customer. Here you'll see the 10 different reports we have. So we can start with the customer statement. We'll run this report. It'll ask you to select the customer you want to run the report for. So for example, if you run it for this person and select the date range, now you can select it by dragging your mouse like this, or sort it by weeks, months, quarters, years, or you can select it for this day, this month, this week, this quarter, this year. So just to get some more data, I'll be running it for this year. When you run the report, it'll pop up with the PDF showing you the whole report. Now here you'll show you all the different transactions you recorded for the customer, invoices and returns, and any opening balance you've had, the actual date of the transaction, transaction number, and the running amount, and as well as the running total. It'll also show any store credit transactions or deposits down here. Here, as you can see, this person has gotten some store credit based off some sales return, and that's tallied up on the right here. Moving on, the next report we can look over is the customer statement only pending invoices. This is sort of the same thing, but you select the customer and a date range. When you run the report, it only runs it for the pending invoices you have recorded for this customer. So for example, this customer has these 5 pending invoices, and the pending amount from those invoices is added up on the right here. It'll also show you the split of when these payments were due from. So this much from 46 to 60 days, this much from 61 to 90 days, this much from over 90 days, and the total. It'll also show you pending invoice totals down here, any opening balance totals down here, and then any deposits and store credit totals, which get subtracted, which then will give you the final due amount for this customer. Moving on, we can next go on to the next customer statement report, which is the all customer statement with pending invoices SC, DP, and FT. Now, this SC stands for store credit, DP stands for deposits, and FT stands for final total. Now, when we go to run this report, this one is a little different. As you can see, it'll say optional when it comes to selecting a customer. Now, if you do select it, it'll only run it for that specific customer. Now, if we don't select it, it'll run it for all your customers. So for example, when I run it, it'll pop up with a way longer PDF with multiple pages, and it'll run it for all your customers. So for example, this customer, it'll show all the transactions, all your pending invoices, all your deposits, and any store credit transactions as well. So here you have final total as well, with the pending invoices, opening balances, any deposits that you made. Since this person has no store credit, it'll show up as 0 and the final due amount. And it'll run it for all your different customers. And it'll look a little different based off the customer. It's just because you've probably recorded different types of transactions for them. And yeah, it'll run it for all of them. But if you do select a customer here, it'll only run it for that specific customer. Moving on, we have the customer statement single list color with logo. This is essentially the same thing as a normal customer statement, but it lists all of the transaction in a single line. So for example, we run it for this year. As you can see, it'll show all of the transactions in a single line, whether it's an invoice, payment receiving, credit issues with sales return, any returns, and it'll show you the amount and the running balance on the right. It'll also have when these amounts were due from, so this much from 46 to 60, 61 to 90 days. This is from over 90 days. Any other, which is your deposits, store credit, advanced amount that gets subtracted, which will give you the final total due amount. The next one is customer statement QB style. This is essentially a normal customer statement, but in a QuickBooks style format. When we run it for this year, you will see that, yeah, all those transactions will pop up here. invoices, payments received, sales return, and it'll show you the running amount and the running balance on the right. It'll also show you when the payments were due from and any other payments that are due. And it'll show you the total due amount. Next, we have those were all the customer statements. Now we'll move on to the delinquent reports. Now, the normal delinquent report, essentially, you don't have any fields to select. When you run it, it runs it for all your customers and shows you how much money they owe you from when. So as you can see, this person owes us $551 from over 30 days ago, 665 from over 60 days ago, this much from over 90 days ago. This is how much they have in store credit or deposits or advanced amount. That's why it shows up as a negative, and I'll show you the total amount on the right. As you can see, they have all this whole other section is for deposits, advanced amount, any opening balances as well. And it'll show you the running total on the right. And at the bottom, I'll show you all the different overdue payments. Next is delinquent report as on date. It is essentially the same thing as this report, but this one you can select the date as of which you want to see this report. So if you go back 2 months and you want to check it from May 11th, you can run it. As you can see, it looks a little different from the one we ran before because it'll have fewer transactions and fewer overdue payments because we're running it for earlier date. But it essentially shows you with the same information. Next is the delinquent report with details. This is a little different, but it still shows you the overdue amount for each customer. It separates it by customer, and it'll also show you any pending invoices by giving you the pending invoice number, invoice date, how old it was, and the amount and the pending amount. It'll also show you when this pending amount was due from, any other amounts such as deposits or advanced amount that gets subtracted, and it'll give you the final total. And it does it for all your customers. Next, we can go over to the customer advance amount. This report essentially shows you which customers have an advance amount and how much that advance amount is. You can select the date as of which you want to see it. You can select this today. Now you're able to select the customer if you like, if you want to see it for a specific customer, or if you want to see it for all your customers, you can just run it without selecting the customer. And we'll see that these customers have an advance amount, and I'll show you the amount on the right. Next is the customer's store credit. When we run this, it's the same thing. You can select the customer if you'd like, but if you leave it empty, it'll run it for all your customers. And you select the as on date. When you run the report, it'll show you all the customers that do have store credit, and it'll show you how much store credit they have as well. Those were all the customer statement reports and delinquent reports and the customer store and advance amount reports. Hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.